Recommendations for all services. This report contains a wide range of recommendations for government as well as particular service providers. Some are about the needs of all disabled people, whether they are LGB or straight. Some are about the needs of all LGB people, whether they are disabled people or not. In this British Sign Language summary, we focus in particular on those which specifically affect people who are both LGB and disabled. So the first thing to think about is general policies. When service providers look at equality and diversity policies, they must be aware that people often fit into more than one category. In order to meet all the needs of people, different service providers must communicate better with one another. People working with disabled people should have LGB equality training. People working with LGB people should have disability equality training. Service providers should not assume someone is heterosexual or non-disabled if they do not know. There is a need for research into the potential introduction of a charter mark scheme for services. This scheme would indicate to service users how LGB and disabled friendly the services are. A directory of LGB and disabled people friendly services is desirable. Monitoring and evaluation of service provision in relation to disability and sexual orientation needs to be stronger. Government needs to think about how new laws will impact on LGB disabled people. For example, there are big differences in transport costs faced by different disabled people. Often, LGB disabled people need to travel some distance to take part in the LGB community. These differences in cost are not reflected in the standardised disability living allowance mobility component. Another example is the impact of changes to welfare benefits due to civil partnerships legislation. Many LGB disabled people rely on welfare benefits which will be affected by this law. The impact of the income of LGB disabled people is not clear yet. We will now look at each of the 12 service areas.